You should have a question in the song.
Does
Why?
it say something like?
Yeah, what do you think that? What do you think that means? Sometimes you gotta figure stuff out.
It said left hand
Okay.
crossover.
So what do you think that means? You figured it out. So what do you think that means?
There's a crossover.
With your
Left hand.
so then do what it tells you to do. Play the beginning of the song. Go ahead, and then follow the rules. Good. Don't hesitate. Bum 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 bum. Now take it easy. Rhythm it. I don't know. Hear the delivery? Even though I didn't do a crossover, just be on your rhythm. Do it again. Do do do. Don't rush. Don't be a semi prisoner either. You're gonna have to slow, to take things in stride. Don't stop. Bum 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 bum. And do. Yeah, right hand. No, right hand. C, E. Then what's it say to do? Take that left hand and go, where's your left hand? Yeah, go all the way up to a what? Not a D. That's correct. C, push it. Good, let's do those last two measures again. So do you see how you tell it? It's a crossover. They're trying to tell you to do it again. Do, 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 do. Well. Don't hesitate. Okay. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense? What doesn't make sense? The crossover?
Yeah.
The crossover is there just because eventually you're going to be using it for different techniques. I can do anything. Like, for example, I'll give you an idea. Ready? Slide over. Say, for instance, I want to do thirds when you get higher. Look at my hands. See what I just did there? These are called thirds. If I have it, the body, that's why I said you're learning about fingering, you're learning about stuff. Guess what? If I do it a different way, what do you think is going to happen? I could either do it faster, I could do it slower, but I could do it more accurate. Now watch what happens when I do a crossover. See what I just did?
Yeah.
Which way? It goes faster.
Yeah.
It goes twice as fast, doesn't it? That's what your body's made a certain way. So you have to teach. That's what I said. You'll learn, even a guitar or whatever, you'll learn that you could do different things. It's not normal. You'll find out that there are different techniques that you can use to make yourself do things better. Does that make sense why you learn a crossover?
Yeah.
First of all, it's cool looking. Anything you do is cool looking. So if you want to sit down, there was a piano player. His name was Liberace back in the 50s. Very, very, you remember, entertaining? And he would sit down and he would put his hands up like this. And he'd go over, very grand, and go over and do stuff. You could look at him. Very fine classical piano player. But he would do this with his hands. Why? Because he looks like he was doing magic. People like it. You can't see a person doing this. So what he do is he make himself that much more of a performer by making big grand gestures. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sometimes you do stuff just because it looks cool. Okay? It doesn't really matter anything, but people, oh wow, look at you. And then all of a sudden they think you're doing something different and you're really not. You're just doing it to make yourself look a little bit more ooh. Make sense?
Yeah.
So now when you get to it, does that make sense? Now you get an A because why? What did you do here? You looked at the page, you sat there and said, gee, you know something? I'm going to look all around. I see this whole thing. I saw the left hand that went over here, and you figured out what it was trying to tell you to do. So you follow directions very well. You'll see that all over the place, right? So what did you just do for me?